Hey everybody, I am live from the Grand Lake Theater in Oakland, California, on the corner of Grand and Lake Park. As you can see, that's the intersection, and this is the Grand Lake Theater. And here it's a nice Thursday night. I just saw Glass right here, Glass, and with, as you can see, Samuel L. Jackson, James McAvoy, and Bruce Willis. Fantastic movie, folks. I'm going to see it again. Let me get one thing out of the way because a lot of people talked about the ending. You have to have seen Unbreakable and Split before you can get Glass, before you can understand Glass. Then it'll make a great deal of sense. It is the final, I would think final, part of a trilogy that started with Unbreakable in 2000 and then Split 2 years ago. And the idea is that, well, basically the story is that with Unbreakable, Bruce Willis plays David Dunn. He is the only survivor of the East Rail 177 train incident, which killed, I believe, 131 people. There was one survivor, and it was him. And it turned out that the East Rail train incident was a terrorist incident caused by a man by the name of Elijah Price. And Elijah Price is played by Samuel L. Jackson. So none of this is found out until the end of Unbreakable. The story of Unbreakable is basically a story of how David Dunn comes to realize he has superhuman strength, and basically water is his kryptonite. Elijah Price is called, basically he was called Mr. Glass as a kid. And the reason he was called Mr. Glass is because he was born with an unusual condition such that his bones break upon the slightest contact. And so as he grows up, he has a number of incidents where you like the movie?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah. So everybody seen his likes the movie, but he had a number of incidents where he actually broke his bones. But he believed that Elijah Price believed that if he was on one end of the spectrum and easily breakable, there had to be someone that was unbreakable, and so he went around causing these accidents. Well, these incidents, these terrorist incidents, to find that person. Split is James McAvoy, and that's a story of a man who was actually based on a true story to a degree, who had 24 personalities, and they all were basically feeding this 25th personality called the Beast. And Split is about how one, not just about the story of Kevin Wendell Crumb, who's the main character, but also about how Anya Taylor-Joy, who plays the only person to survive being abducted by the Beast, gets away from the Beast because she's been abused as a child. The Beast is basically a sort of an, as Elijah Price described it, an avenging angel that takes or basically harms people he believes are impure. Unbreakable was originally supposed to be, if you ever saw Unbreakable, there was the Orange Man in the suit. The Orange Man in the suit was actually supposed to be Kevin Wendell Crumb. He was supposed to be the Horde. But M. Night Shyamalan decided, hey, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'll save that for later. And he replaced it with the Orange Suit Man. Split was about Kevin Wendell Crumb, as I explained. Glass brings them all together. Dave Dunn finally realizes he's a superhero. He starts a security agency where he actually goes out and acts as a vigilante. But in doing so, he manages to harm a lot of people. He is in pursuit of the Horde, of Kevin Wendell Crumb. He finally finds him. But also, the authorities find both of them, and they have them committed to a mental institution. A place for the criminally insane. if you see Unbreakable, you'll know that Samuel L. Jackson's Elijah Price was committed to that same institution 19 years ago for the criminally insane. They wind up in the same institution, and that's where Glass really begins. It is one of the best movies I've seen. If you take the story for what it is, if you just sit down and enjoy the ride, and enjoy there's a lot of bits and pieces there that tie the movies together in a brilliant way. I believe this is one of M. Night Shyamalan's better films, not one of his worst. I completely disagree with people who say otherwise. So, see Glass. Now, in terms of the ending, it turns out, and I'm just going to say this is a spoiler, it turns out that all three of them are acknowledged superheroes, even though the idea was to try to convince them they weren't in order to keep them from getting killed. But there's a secret society of superheroes around the world, and they stay silent by basically being normal, okay? That's the idea. And so these guys, basically, these three represent superheroes that are basically at different spectrums. And they're upsetting what is said to be the balance. So there's this group led by Sarah Paulson's character, or at least not led by them, but she's sort of the agent that goes around the world exterminating superheroes who are threatening to expose other superheroes by their actions. What happened was that Samuel L. Jackson's character, Elijah Price, managed to engineer the cameras in the institution so they picked up everything that went on. He had no intention of destroying a tower. He just wanted to be captured on camera and have everybody captured on camera doing super things. And that's what happened, and then it was hooked up to a private live stream, and it was sent out to the world at the end of the movie, and everybody picks it up, and basically the story of who they really were. And the idea is, hey, look, if you have a superpower, show it to the world and be who you are. It's a good movie. It was really a good movie. See Glass, but before you do so, before you see Glass, see Unbreakable and Split first. You got to see those two movies. And subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube. I'll see you guys later.